Hello, friends. Welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm Kerry Wood, pastor of the Goldston Methodist Church in Goldston, North Carolina, and we are beginning a brand new series that is going to take us all the way through Thanksgiving. Yes, that's going to be a very long series, but I think it's going to be a very fun and exciting one. We're calling this Gospeling. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. And the challenge is for you to read an entire chapter out of a gospel every single day. And today, on September 1st, we're beginning with Matthew, the first chapter. So your challenge is to read Matthew chapter 1, and my daily Devo is going to be focusing today on Matthew chapter 1. Tomorrow will be on Matthew 2, then the next day Matthew 3, and so on. And when we finish Matthew, we'll go on into Mark. When we finish Mark, we'll go into Luke. And when we finish Luke, we'll go into John. And by the time we're finished with John, it's going to be time for the Advent season in preparations for Christmas. So today, I'm going to start with Matthew 1, verse 1. Open up your Bibles. That way you'll be able to continue reading the entire chapter after we finish this Devo. But let's share these words together. This is the genealogy of Jesus the Messiah, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Matthew begins with a genealogy. And this is not the most exciting way for any kind of a story to begin, is it? I mean, when was the last time that you really paid attention to genealogies, especially genealogies in the Bible? I mean, these are so boring. And when you're looking at it in the King James Version, it's so-and-so begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, who begat so-and-so, and the begats just begin to beget on my nerves. So why would Matthew start with these begats? Or using the NIV, the father of? Well, it's important to understand that for Matthew's audience, they wanted the connection to the Jewish scriptural tradition. They wanted to see how this Messiah, this promised one, this anointed one that Matthew's gospel is describing, how does that connect to the tradition of the prophets and the law of what they would call the Hebrew scriptures, what we today call the Old Testament. So Matthew's gospel gives us this connection, and he uses it beginning with Abraham, the father of what would become the nation of Israel. Abraham is the father of Isaac, who is the father of Jacob, who is the father of Judah and his brothers. Now, the reason that Matthew says Judah and his brothers is because Judah, for this genealogy, is the most important of the 12 sons of Jacob. Jacob is later named Israel by God, and that's where the nation of Israel receives its name. And he goes on to describe how Jesus is connected to David, who is the king, and David is the one who receives the promise from God that someday someone would be sitting on the throne of David forever. And that someone is Jesus. And so Matthew is giving us that connection from Abraham to David. And then he goes on from David to describe how they go into the time of the exile. And the exile is when the people of Israel and Judah, the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, they are punished for failing to follow God's law. They did not listen to the messengers, the prophets of God. Over and over, they said, don't worship anyone other than the Lord, Yahweh. And yet they didn't, and so they were punished, sent into exile, losing their place in their promised land. But after 70 years of exile in Babylon, a remnant is able to come back, and Matthew picks up the genealogy of Jesus and describes Matthew all the way from the return from Babylon to the birth of Jesus through Joseph and Mary. So Matthew wants us to see this deep connection to the past in order to explain what's happening in the present and in anticipation of what is going to come in the future. Now, buried inside these genealogies are some really interesting things, which is there are women included in this. There are non-Jews included in Jesus' genealogy. So from the very beginning, we are seeing in Matthew's gospel that Jesus is not just a Jewish Messiah. Jesus is Messiah to the entire world. You and me, all the way 2,000 years later, we have this same connection, this same engagement. So rather than looking at a genealogy as being dull and boring and skipping it over, we see through Matthew's eyes that this is exciting and part of the good news. And I look forward to sharing this good news journey with you through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So keep your Bibles open, read the entire chapter, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next daily devotion.